بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو على ما من به علينا من النعم الكثيرة الظاهرة والباطنة، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. أما بعد, by the mercy of Allah, or by the blessed Mother, by the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most compassionate, all praise belongs to Allah, the one that does none that has the right to be worshipped except Him, who has bestowed upon us blessings in abundance that are numerous, those blessings that are both inward and outward. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is alone, without having any partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah, that he is his servant and his messenger. فنرحب بكم جميعا إلى هذه السلسلة العلمية في تعليمنا اللغة العربية. So we continue, we welcome rather, each and every one of you to these series of classes, these knowledge-based series of classes, whereas we're learning from the science of the Arabic language, ولأصحاب الكتب وصلنا إلى صفحة 70. So for those that have the book, we have arrived, walhamdulillah, at page number 70. ونراجع بعض الكلمات الجديدة قبل أن نبدأ. So, inshallah ta'ala, as we usually do, let's take some new vocabulary, inshallah ta'ala. Let's take some new vocabulary before we start the new lesson. Alright, the new vocabulary words. طيب، فتشرفنا أن تعلمنا بعض الكلمات. So we had the honor to learn a few words in the last lesson. ومن هذه الكلمات, and from these words that we had the honor to learn, كلمة دفع. وقلنا دفع تأتي بمعنى أن يدفع مالا مثلا. So we had the honor to learn a few words from these words. يدفع أو دفع يدفع. We learned the word دفع. We mentioned دفع can mean to pay. دفع مال الحساب الطعام. He paid the money for the food, to pay. He paid. دفع can also mean to push. Can also mean to push. دفع can also mean to push. وعليكم السلام يا شيخ، كيف حالكم اليوم؟ أنتم تسمعون? You guys can hear? لا بأس لا بأس. May Allah bless you. No problem, Sheikh. طيب, we also learned دفع can mean to push. Can mean to pay and to push. وتكلمنا أيضا عن المضارع وعن الماضي المشغول. So we mentioned in the last lesson the past tense verb, the ماضي, when the doer is مجهول, when the doer is not mentioned. الماضي للمجهول. الماضي للمجهول. You have the past tense verb الماضي, the past tense verb للمجهول. You have the past tense verb and the doer of the verb is not mentioned. المجهول. مجهول here هنا أو مجهول هنا بمعنى غير معلوم، لكن هنا المراد ليس مذكور. The word مجهول means is not known. مجهول is unknown. You're ignorant, or it's ignorant, it's unknown. But here it means is not mentioned. So the word مجهول, we're going to write مجهول. مجهول أي غير معلوم. غير معلوم. مجهول, you're going to write غير معلوم. مجهول means the thing is not known. In the language, في اللغة, كلمة مجهول أي غير معلوم. In the language, the word مجهول means is not known. غير معلوم. مجهول means غير معلوم. The thing is not known. The thing is not known. So I want you to write مجهول means not known. مجهول means not known. Not known. We need a different color, يا اخوان. مجهول means not known. لكن هنا بمعنى غير مذكور. But here, I'll give you a better way to understand it. It doesn't mean it's not known. It means it's not mentioned. هنا بمعنى غير مذكور. But here, it means is not mentioned. هنا بمعنى غير مذكور. غير بشبه سكون مذكور. But here, I don't want you to understand it to be as not known, because it could be known. Here, it means it's not mentioned. فنقول مثلا, so we say for example, مثلا هل طيب هل درست الدرس؟ هل درست الدرس؟ We say, for example, هل درست الدرس؟ اكتبوا هذه الجملة. Write this sentence down here. هل درست الدرس؟ هل درست الدرس؟ We say, have you studied the lesson? هل درست الدرس؟ Have you studied the lesson? Have you studied the lesson? Have you studied the lesson? هذا الآن معلوم. So this one is the doer is known or the doer is mentioned. أنت. The ta تعود أو يعود إلى أنت. The ta goes back to أنت. ضمير مستتر وجوبا تقديره أنت. So the pronoun is hidden, is obligation that has to go back to you. طيب. Now we say الآن نقول هل درس الدرس. Let's change it slightly. Now let's use الماضي للمجهول, the past tense for the unknown, meaning not mentioned. هل درس الدرس. Now ما عندنا فاعل. We don't have a doer. تشرفنا أن نعلم بالنسبة للمجهول لا يوجد الفاعل. لا يوجد الفاعل. We mentioned when you're using the phrase, or rather the structure, the مجهول structure, there is no doer. There is no doer. Something was done, but there is no doer. طيب. So now we said هل درس الدرس. Has the lesson been studied. Has the lesson been studied. فهنا الدرس ليس فاعلا. ليس فاعلا. So here the word درس is not the doer. يسمى نائب الفاعل, is called the representative of the doer. There's no doer in the مجهول structure. There's no doer. So we're going to write the word درس here is the نائب فاعل. نائب الفاعل. So the word الدرس, you're going to write نائب الفاعل is the representative. It's in place of the doer. It's not a doer. It's in place of the doer. So you're going to write نائب الفاعل, the representative of the doer. So the word درس here, what I want you to write, The word الدرس درس is the نائب. Let's keep the term نائب الفاعل, the representative of the doer. طيب. طيب فتشرفنا أن نتعلم قاعدتين تتعلقان بالمجهول. بالمجهول. So we have learned two principles connected to the مجهول. We learned two principles connected to the مجهول. اكتبوها. So write this down يا إخوان. Two principles connected to المجهول. So write this down. المجهول. You're going to write للمجهول. Principles. This should be A, I believe. Two principles. الأول الشكل. The first is the shape of it. الشكل. الصورة. shape. الشكل أو الصورة. The shape of it. The first principle we're going to learn is the shape. You can say الشكل أو الصورة. The shape of it. First principle, the shape. Or you can say الصورة. Our sister Carol, she says, Salaam alaikum rahmatullah. I'm driving, but I'm listening. May Allah bless you. Our sister Zakir, she says, Dafa'a means to pay. Allahu Akbar. Dafa'a means to pay. وهذا صحيح. And that's correct. طيب, first, القاعدة الأولى. القاعدة الأولى. First principle. The shape of the مجهول. الشكل or you can say الصورة, the shape of it. A, meaning ضم أوله وكسر ثانيه. طيب, ضم أوله. The first of it, the first letter, is going to have a ضمة. ضم أوله وكسر ثانيه بنون. ثانيه. طيب, the first of it is always going to have a ضمة. أوله meaning فاء الكلمة, meaning the first letter. Fa here means first. The first letter is always going to have a ضمة. وكسر ثانيه. And the second letter is always going to have shape. طيب. So you're going to write ضم أوله وكسر ثانيه. The first letter of the past tense verb, the fa'ul kalima, the first letter is always going to have a dhamma. Always going to have a dhamma. Is always going to have a dhamma. And the second letter, ainul kalima, is always going to have a kasra. So we're going to write the first letter, meaning the fa. When we say fa here, it means first. Is always dhamma. Always, دائما, always. And the second letter is always going to have a kasra. First letter dhamma, second letter kasra. فهنا علينا أن نحفظ الشكل أو الصورة. So here we have to memorize the shape. أحيانا علينا أن نحفظ الشكل أو الصورة. Sometimes all we have to memorize is the shape of it. The shape يعلمنا شيئا is going to give us a benefit. Just the shape. يعلمنا فائدة is going to give us a benefit. فمثلا نقول, let's take an example يا إخوان. طيب عندنا كتبت المرأة الدرس. كتبت المرأة الدرس. المرأة الدرس. طيب من يترجم هذه الجملة؟ هذه الجملة. Who can translate this sentence? كتبت المرأة الدرس. من يترجم? Who can translate? من يترجم? Who can translate? Our sister, our sheikha, she says, the woman wrote the lesson. Allahu Akbar. Sahih. The woman wrote the lesson. طيب. أين الفاعل? Question number 1. أين الفاعل? Where's the doer? أين الفاعل? أين الفاعل? Where's the doer? كتبت المرأة الدرس. The woman wrote the lesson. أين الفاعل? Where's the doer? Our sister Haja. أين الفاعل? Where's the doer? وعليك السلام ورحمة الله. كيف أنت اليوم؟ بارك الله فيك وفينا. May Allah bless you and all of us. Our question is أين الفاعل? Where is the doer? ما شاء الله. الفاعل المرأة. طيب, the doer here is المرأة. المرأة. طيب, الدرس مفعول به. مفعول به. The dars is the noun, the accusative noun that the action of the verb fell on. The مفعول به. طيب, الآن انظر إلى الشكل والصورة. Now look at the shape. We said the مجهول ضم أوله وكسر ثانيه. We said the first letter is always going to have a dhamma. So we're going to write كتب الدرس. كتب الدرس. I wish I can keep this in black. You can always change this to red. طيب, first letter ضمة. Cool. وكسر ثانيه, the second letter كسرة. Now the last letter is going to depend on which structure, where is it the singular, is it the muthanna, is it the jama' or the plural. So the last letter, don't really focus on that. It depends on, is it the mufradan, singular, muthanna, the dual, or the jama' or the plural. So focus on the first and the second. That's all you have to memorize. First letter dumma awwaluhu. First letter is going to have a dhamma. Second letter kusira aw athanihi. The second letter is always going to have a kasra. So we said dumma awwaluhu. This is the principle. The first of the letter, the first letter of the word rather, is going to have a dhamma. So you're going to write dhamma awwaluhu. First letter should be a dhamma. Dhamma awwaluhu. First letter dhamma. First letter dhamma. So you're only going to focus on the first and second letter. That's it. إذا تحفظون هذا فلعلكم على رأس الجبل. If you memorize the first two letters, that's it. It's like you're on a mountain. You have a vast amount of knowledge just by memorizing first letter ضمة, second letter كسرة. على حسب اختلاف الحروف. It doesn't matter what letters it is. It doesn't matter. ضمة. First letter, no matter what letter it is going to have a ضمة. وثانيه كسرة. And the second letter is always going to have a كسرة. So we're going to write ضم أوله وكسر ثانيه. So the first principle has two parts. We're recognizing the shape. Second part, وكسر ثانيه. That's it. وكسر ثانيه. And its second letter is كسرة. فهذا شكل المجهول. صورة المجهول. So this is the shape of the مجهول للماضي, for the past tense. For the past tense. والقاعدة الثانية. The second principle is only two principles we mentioned. الثانية, the second principle. القاعدة الثانية. Second principle. لا يوجد الفاعل. لا يوجد الفاعل. القاعدة الثانية. Second principle. Second principle. القاعدة الثانية. لا يوجد الفاعل. There is no doer. There is no doer. There is no فاعل. Second principle. لا يوجد الفاعل. لا يوجد الفاعل. لا يوجد الفاعل. There is no doer. There is no doer. لا يوجد الفاعل. There is no فاعل. Let's keep the term يا إخوان. There is no فاعل. There is no doer. لا يوجد الفاعل. There is no فاعل. يوجد نائب الفاعل. What it has is the representative of the فاعل. There's no doer. It's a نائب الفاعل, the representative of the فاعل. I'm going to make a business transaction. أنا أريد أن ماذا أشتري أشياء فأرسلك في محلي. So I can't make it there. So I'll send you in my place. You're my نائب. You're my representative. Right? Our sister says المرأة is the فاعل. أحسنت. طيب هذا مفهوم عندكم? You all understand this point here يا إخوان? Two principles we learned. الأولى الشكل, الصورة. The first principle is the shape of the مجهول, الماضي, of the past tense, unknown. I mean, when a doer is not mentioned. First principle, the shape. نقول مثلا صلى المسلم الظهر. صلى المسلم الظهر. The Muslim performed the afternoon prayer, the ظهر prayer. صلى المسلم الظهر. A Muslim performed the ظهر prayer. Or you can say offered. طيب هذا معلوم. This one is the معلوم. The doer is known. Or it's actually the structure of the verb. It's called the معلوم. It shows that the doer is mentioned. طيب نغير الصورة، نغير شكل. Let's change the shape. من المعلوم إلى المجهول. From the معلوم to the مجهول. When the doer is known to when the doer is not known, meaning not mentioned. Now we're going to say صلي. صلي الظهر. صلي. First letter, our principle. ضم أوله. First letter, ضمة. وكسر ثانيه. Second letter, كسر. صلي. This is a yeah. صلي الظهر. Who can translate this sentence? صلي الظهر. What about the ظهر? Now, what about it? The Dhuhr prayer was what? Yeah, you could say offered, performed, accented. You could say that. Now, we're going to say the Dhuhr prayer was offered, was performed, accented. Good translation. Sulli al-Dhuhru, not the Muslim prayed Dhuhr. No, there is no doer. It was done. Dhuhr prayer was offered. Who prayed it? Allah Alam. That's not the point. We're not mentioning who prayed it, who offered it. No, it was offered. Whoever prayed it, prayed it. You come home and you ask your son, hey, Sallayta as-salata? Did you pray? He says, Na'am, sulliyat. Yes, the prayer was offered, Ummi. He's not saying he prayed it, but he's saying the prayer was offered. It's an eloquent way to speak. It's called the Madi lil Mashhul. The past tense of ماذا, of the unknown. You see it a lot in the Quran. You see it a lot in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Our sister Maryam, Salaam Alaikum. كيف أنت اليوم? How are you today? طيب. Anyone has any إشكال? Any difficulty about that? هذا مفهوم لكم جميعا? You guys understand that, all of you? Two principles that we learned for the majhul. The ashak.
I don't understand quite well, but I think I just have to go over the last lesson in this one again.
Okay, inshallah. Just remember, one is just talking about the structure itself. In the first structure, the doer is mentioned. And the second structure is not mentioned. If I say it to you in English, we'll make it a little easier. Let's do English first. Make it a little easier, inshallah. We say, مثلا, the boy brought candy. The boy bought. I think it's bought. But I don't know. He bought. Shukran. The boy bought candy. طيب. In Arabic, this will be the ماضي للمعلوم. The past tense and the doer is mentioned. The boy. The boy will be the doer here. Now, let's change it. Now, we're going to change it. The candy was bought. It looks similar, but the meanings are totally different. In the first one, there is a fa'il, there is a doer, the boy. And the second, there is not a doer. it looks like the candy is the doer. No, remember in Arabic, the doer has a meaning. The fa'il has a meaning. Man qama bil fi'l, the one who did the action. Here, there's no doer of the action. Something was done, but there's no mention of who did it. So the candy is the representative of the doer. The candy was bought. Who brought it? It's not mentioned who brought it. So that will make it a little, inshallah ta'ala, we hope, a little easier. If we say مثلا اشترى الولد الحلوى. The boy brought or bought some candy. اشترى الولد الحلوى. The boy bought some sweets, some candy. اشترى الولد الحلوى. طيب, the boy is the fa'il. The boy is the doer. The structure of the verb is the ma'lum. When the doer is mentioned. طيب, الآن نغير. We should have used the easier verb. طيب. طيب, اشترى 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 الحلوى. This one's going to look a little different than the one we're doing because this is the on the 10th form. اشترى. So it's going to be اشترى الحلوى. Candy was bought. When I'm mentioning who bought it, that's it. So today we did a recap. We're going to do the small exercise, inshallah. تدريب السابع. We have 10 sentences. طيب. This way I can see who's practicing, who's not really practicing. طيب. We're going to do this together in class, inshallah. التدريب السابع, exercise number 7. Exercise number 7. طيب. Who would like to read the directions?
I'll read the start.
تفضلي.
استعمل كل كلمات من الكلمات الثانية في الجملة مفيدة.
MashaAllah, أحسنتم. So it says use or utilize every word from the following words in a beneficial sentence. We're going to take turns, inshallah. I want you all to give me a sentence, inshallah ta'ala. Our first word, sahib. Sahib. We learned sahib has a few meanings. Sahib can be a companion, and sahib can be the possessor of. Sahib can be a companion, And sahib can be possessor of. Sahib. Sahibun can be the owner of something, the possessor of. Can also be a companion, a friend. So I want you to give me a sentence, inshallah ta'ala, that has sahib. Whose turn? Let's take turns, inshallah. Our sister Haja, give us a sentence that has sahib. Our sisters there. Assalamu alaikum. طيب. What about now, you guys? صاحب الحوت. جميلة. طيب, our sister gave us a beautiful sentence. Nabi Allah Yunus, the Prophet of Allah Yunus, may the peace of Allah be upon him. He is the companion of the fish, of the well. طيب, our second word. أثث. أثث. Second word. أثث. To furnish. Someone give us a sentence that has the word furnish. أثث. أثث.
Sister Haja went to go make some
لا بأس لا بأس. تفضلي.
أريد أثاث الشقة.
ما شاء الله. أريد. If you say أريد, hit N. أريد. إيه أحسنتي. أريد أن أؤثث. 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 أن أؤثث. نعم. أن أؤثث البيت. You said البيت؟ الشقة. عفوا. الشقة. أحسنتي. I want to furnish the apartment. أحسنتي. جميلة. Beautiful sentence. أريد أن أثث الشقة. I want to furnish the apartment. أحسنت. طيب ثالثها, our third word, يختلف. يختلف. Something is different or differs. Our word is going to be يختلف. You can use it in the masculine or the feminine. لا بأس. He brought the masculine, but we can use the feminine or the masculine. لا بأس. يختلف, from the verb اختلف. اختلف, to divide, to differ. We had this issue in the masjid في إنزال المطر, when the rain. اختلف. When it rains and you don't see the joining in the rain a sunnah if the rain is light, what should you do? The masjid or the majority sees it, if it's light or heavy, it's the same. So when the rain is light, they combine. You don't see that to be the strongest opinion. اختلف. So what do you do? يختلف, to differ, or to differ or to vary. What do you do? من يعلم, who knows يا إخوان? You're in a masjid مثلا, and there are a few positions في إنزال المطر, regarding the sending down of the rain. There are a few positions.
Ustad, are you asking, should you combine the salah or not?
If you're in a jama'ah, you're with the sisters there in the community, and then it rains.
No.
But in your opinion, you understand from some of the ulama that if the rain is heavy and there's a difficulty, then you combine. But the jama'ah, they differ with you. In their understanding, if the rain is light, you still can combine. So they combine. What do?
You follow the jama'ah.
Right? So you make your intentions for what?
You make the intention to either you pray a single salah or you combine it.
Okay, so you combine with them, but what prayer are you praying? Because to you, this is incorrect to do. So what prayer are you making?
Let's say if it was around Duhur time, I'll just make a Duhur.
So then they stand up and they pray also after, because they're combining because of the rain.
You can still pray with them if you want to do sadaqah, and you mean like when they combine in full, right? That's not like they make khasir, right?
Yeah, they're combining the whole prayer. They're just combining, not shortening.
Okay. I mean, you can pray your the first with them, and then if you want to make you pray with them the second, with the intention of making sunnah.
Hey, Arsent. So you would change your niyyah, and you would make a sunan or nawafil, and then when the next prayer comes, you would make that prayer. Because to keep the jama'ah, baqa'ul jama'ati sunnah. To keep the jama'ah together is a sunnah. اختلاف الجماعة makruh. For the community to be divided is disliked. So you're not going to sit in the back while they pray. No, you're going to pray with the people. طيب, our next word, يختلف. Give us a sentence that has ماذا يختلف. A sentence that has يختلف.
يختلف العلماء في مسألة الصور في الهاتف.
MashaAllah. No, that's a good sentence. May Allah bless you. يختلف العلماء في مسألة الصورة بالهاتف. جميل. And you can say that. Let me write it like that. Like that. Here's my number. I am trying to Bismillah put the Hamza on the Nabira. Okay, can I do that on the computer? Let's see. Try this one. That's a good sentence. May Allah bless you. The scholars differ regarding taking pictures with one's phone or video or the likes. في مسألة الصورة بالهاتف. There are many positions here. بالهاتف. Some scholars say any way you can take a picture of the Dawatul Arwah, anything that has a soul, is haram in any manner. And that appears to be the strongest opinion, in any manner. And then you have some scholars that say taking it with a camera is not the intent. It's talking about drawing it, sculpting it, icing it, carving it out. Then you have some that say there's a difference between the camera and the video. Then you have some that say if you're recording a video, that's okay. If you're taking a picture or drawing a picture or sculpting a picture, then that's not correct. Then you have some that say if it's a video of classes or lectures, then this is recommended. Then you have some that say no, it's the same. So they differ there into many positions from the people of knowledge. No. Wallahu alam. And Allah knows best. Al-ulama في مسألة الصورة بالهاتف. Scholars differ regarding the issue of taking pictures with the phone. Here, pictures mean of souls. They all agree if it's not a soul, it's allowed. The اختلافات تقع في قضية ذوات الأرواح. The issue of difference takes place when the person is talking about a soul. Anything that has a soul, an animal or human or the likes. They all agree it's allowed to take a picture or to draw a picture of something that has no soul. There's no issue there. So we did the first 3 sentences. Let's save the last 6 for homework. So you have 4 to 10. You have the words here. I want you to give us a sentence per word. جملة واحدة لكل كلمة. One sentence per word. So we'll stop there inshallah ta'ala. And may Allah bless you all. إذا عند أحدكم أسئلة أو إشكالات لا بأس. If someone has a question or so, they can put it forth. If not, then we'll stop there inshallah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim.
Ustad, I have a question, but it's not pertaining to the class. Can I ask?
لا بأس.
Okay. Ustad, I want to understand the verse that say, that talk about the fornicator does not marry one except a fornicator or a mushrik.
No.
How does a lay person understand? Let's say for those who have committed such sins like in the past and they
No.
hear this ayah. But now alhamdulillah, some people have become Muslim. How do you reconcile between this ayah?
أولا الذي وقع في الذنب ويتوب توبة نصوحا هو كالذي لم يقع في الذنب. Firstly, the one who falls into an error, a sin, or the likes, and then makes a sincere repentance to Allah, he's like the one who didn't do it. Meaning, you're not held accountable for if you make a sin or the likes, if you repented from that. The intent here is the one, مثلا, هو عليه أو هي عليه. They're upon that sin. ويستمر عليه. And they're constant upon that sin. وهذا ليس بمعنى الذي يقع في مثلا هذا الذنب لا يجوز له أن يتزوج بالذي لا يقع بهذا الذنب. And this does not mean that if a person falls into that particular sin, he can't marry someone righteous, or she can't marry someone righteous. It doesn't mean that. It's not saying that it's haram. No, that's not the meaning of the verse. If a woman, she's a virgin, هي بكرة لم تتزوج قبل. This woman never got married. وهذا الرجل وقع في ذنب في الماضي. ليس بمعنى أنه حرام عليه أو حرام عليها أن يتزوجان. لا. So the woman never was married. Her private parts are chaste or chaste. But this man, in his past, he fell into error. This does not mean that it's haram upon them to get married. No, if that man has fallen into what he fell into, he makes repentance, then they are allowed to marry. It means fil aghlabiyya, usually, the salihat lis salihin. The righteous are for the righteous. The righteous women are for the righteous men. The righteous men are for the righteous women. This does not mean that a righteous man is only going to marry a righteous woman. Doesn't mean a righteous woman is only a righteous man. It doesn't mean a sincere tawbah. It doesn't mean that since she used to do that action, she can't marry someone who did not do that action. It doesn't mean that. It means usually, fil aghlab, al aghlabiyya, the usual is that this one is going to marry someone like her, or this man is going to marry someone like him. A student of knowledge from women is usually going to marry a student of knowledge from the men. Usually. This student of knowledge from the men is usually going to marry a student of knowledge from the women. That's the usual. But it doesn't mean that they're going to marry someone like them. This woman is righteous. She's protected her private parts. It doesn't mean that it's haram upon her if she marries someone who he was tested with a sin that she wasn't tested with. This is talking about the aghlabiyya, the usual. But it doesn't mean that they're not exceptions or that it is haram. A Muslim man may want to marry a Christian woman. You can't say that's haram. لأن الله تعالى أحل, because Allah made it allowed. You can give advice against it. You can say الأولى لك أن تتزوج بمسلمة من المسلمات. نعم, هذا صحيح. You can say it's better for you, brother, to marry a Muslim woman from the Muslim women. It's better. Yes. But you can't say it's haram. You can't say it's haram. A sister may say, okay, the non-Muslim men treated me better than the Muslim men. And that could be true. That can be reality. Someone can treat someone better. You can have Christian women who treated you better when you were Christian than the Muslim women. No contradiction. You're not saying that this woman treats people better because of her religion. No, it should be like that. But people are people. Sometimes the Christian men are better to their parents than the Muslim men. Sometimes. That's true. Sometimes the opposite. You're not saying that this person's manners, since he has better manners, it should be allowed. No, it doesn't matter. He can have the best manners of the earth, but he disbelieves in Allah. So you can't marry that person. It's not about how they treat someone. If that was the case, then many of us wouldn't have the companions that we have, wouldn't have, if it's all about how someone treats you and that makes it right. No, it's not like that. That's not a proof to anything. Someone can have eloquent speech and their speech can be beautiful and everything they said is false. And someone can have not eloquent speech and everything he said is true. So it's not about the delivery, it's not about how someone treats someone. It's about, is it correct or not? Right? So here the verse, Wallahu Alam, it appears it's talking about al-aghlabiyya, the majority, that usually a person of righteousness is not going to marry someone that's not of righteousness. And it's talking about what they're upon, not upon what they were upon in the past. If the person made a tawbah to Allah Ta'ala, tawbatan nasuha, the correct, sincere repentance, then they're like the one who didn't fall into the sin. So that's what I would say. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. And Allah the Most High knows best. Wa yaki wa yaki. And we'll stop there inshallah. وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.